everyone, Stacy here at Hen Den Quilting, and with the start of a new series that I'm working on, a Back to Basics series, kind of thought now is a good time for me to introduce myself to you guys and let you know a little bit more about my sewing history and where I come from in my sewing path, and to give you an idea of the unique approach that I am coming from as we delve into this series. So first of all, I started sewing when I was maybe like 8 or 9, I want to say. I distinctly remember I wanted to be a fashion designer, as a lot of little girls do, playing dress up with all of my mom's stuff and cutting her things up and making them into other things. And I remember asking her if she could teach me how to sew. I knew she had a sewing machine. My mom did not sew. She went into the closet and pulled out the Montgomery Ward army green sewing machine that weighed 1,000,000 pounds. And I remember her giving me the machine and the manual and saying to figure it out. And I did. And that was kind of where everything started. So I kind of started tinkering around with a lot of different things, making stuff for my dolls and, little skirts with elastic in them and things like that. And then my family went on a trip to Lancaster, PA at some point. And I remember falling in love with the Amish quilts, like just blown away how beautiful they were. And let's just say, as a young one, I had a little bit of an entrepreneurial streak in me. Matter of fact, it got me in trouble quite a bit because I was making string bracelets and headbands and things for my friends at school, which got me in trouble. Entrepreneurialism is not encouraged in elementary school. So my family took a trip to Lancaster and I fell in love with the quilts. And I looked at what they were charging for those quilts and I said, I already know how to sew. I can do this. The little entrepreneur was, going in my head. So I next made it my priority to learn quilting. I was very lucky and blessed that at the time I had, and still have, fortunately, an aunt who taught me how to quilt. She taught me all the basics. So this would have been probably about 92, 93, 94, somewhere in that time frame. And I immediately took to it. I just fell in love with it. I was doing log cabins, all very basic things. And I actually finished my first full-size quilt in 1994. This quilt came at a time in my life where there was kind of a lot of things going on. My family had moved to help take care of my grandmother, and it was a very hard time for me because I had to up and leave all my friends and move to a different place, and I really wasn't fitting in at the new school, and quilting kind of became my therapy. So I have this quilt that I started. It's a 9-patch. I used any scrap of fabrics I could use. Wherever I could come up with a scrap of fabric, I used it in this quilt. I still have this quilt, and it is in pieces. It needs to be repaired and long-armed and put back together. But this is really where everything started for me. And ever since then, I have just continued to grow my love of quilting. Since then, my sewing and quilting journey has taken me many different directions. When I got pregnant with my first child, I decided I was going to make a quilt. I was really heavy into the fiber arts at the time, but I was not about to knit a baby blanket, so we pulled out the machine and said, well, we're going to make a baby quilt. And there was a fairly large gap in there where I wasn't sewing. And when I went back into quilting again and making a baby quilt, I came at it with a completely different mindset. I was very much about the Amish quilts and the dark colors and the primitive look to them, and now looking at it with much older eyes and making a quilt for my first baby, it's just, everything was different. And that's when I really started to delve a little deeper into quilting and the quilting process. And now, I'm incorporating all kinds of different tips and techniques into it. And it's, I've had so many hobbies in my lifetime. I've been there, done that to a lot of things. And sewing, and specifically quilting, is something I always come back to, always. So I was a stay-at-home mom for about 9 years, and I finally decided it was time to get back out into the workforce. However, prior to staying at home, I was a corporate admin, and I said there is absolutely no way. I cannot go back to a corporate admin job. I cannot go back to a desk job. It's going to have to be something I enjoy doing. We're blessed in that we did not need the income at the time, so I was really looking for something that I was going to be happy with and enjoying. And there was a local quilt store who I'd been talking to about teaching at, because I'd somehow decided that teaching was something I really wanted to do and to pass on the knowledge that I had learned. And so they said, okay, well, we're looking for part-time help. And I signed on part-time. Sometimes it's part-time, sometimes it's full-time. But what that is giving me is an even more in-depth approach at sewing and at quilting. Because working in a store, you see a lot of the behind the scenes on things. You are also working with customers on a daily basis, helping to problem solve for them, helping them to pick fabrics, helping troubleshooting machine things. I mean, we do a little bit of everything. And I feel like that just took all of my knowledge from here and bumped it to here. And then a couple of years ago, I decided, I was very blessed and fortunate and lucky that I was able to get a long arm. And I decided I would start doing long arm for hire. So I am a long arm quilter. I do quilting for customers. And that took my knowledge from here to here. Because once you start long arming quilts, you're going to get quilts of all different skill levels. You're going to get somebody's first quilt that's full of flaws and puckers and sometimes holes and, you name it. And then you're going to get the people who've been doing this for a really long time and their quilts are just perfect. They're perfection. I can put them on the frame and not have to babysit them. I just know they're going to stitch out wonderful. So in all these different processes and all the things that I'm doing, I am just learning more and more on a daily basis. And guys, there is always more to learn. There are things that people come in and I go, oh my gosh, I never knew that. Why didn't I know that? Because the reality is the quilting world is also always growing. The sewing world is always growing. Just when you think there's nothing else that can be came up with, there's no more gadgets or gizmos or anything that you could do to possibly make sewing more unique and more fun, a new thing comes out. So I am coming at this series with the approach of my goal is to teach the basics, because whether or not you've been doing this for a short period of time or 30 plus years, there are always things to learn. There are always new tips. There's always new tricks. There's always new techniques. Some of them are old techniques and tricks that nobody uses anymore, but it could definitely help you in your quilting journey. So I've never had a quilt in Paducah or Houston or any of those big shows. Frankly, it's kind of not my cup of tea. It's not really my goal with my sewing. Have I won shows on a local level? Absolutely. I have had many quilts in the Maryland State Fair. I had some in the Anne Arundel County Fair. And so I have won awards with my quilts on local levels. And I'm tickled pink with that. I don't need to go to Houston. I don't need to go to Paducah. My goal is for my quilts to be used, loved, and to share my knowledge with anybody else who wants to learn the same thing. So I hope you'll stick along for this journey. I hope that you learn something new, whether you're new to quilting or you've been doing this for a very long time, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of my tips, tricks, some opinions on how to pursue your quilting journey. So I just wanted to take a moment to share a little bit about myself so you would get an idea of where I'm coming from as we approach this Back to Basics series. I hope that you give the channel a like and a subscribe. I hope you follow along, because I think we're going to have a little fun along the way. So that's it from me in the Hen Den. Take care.